first topic, Weekly Muse. So, like we mentioned, we are coming up on Halloween, and the first thing that you usually see in the news around Halloween is a bunch of news outlets talking about the scariest games you can play right now, or of all time. It is almost a tradition that you
Almost
have
like they're scrounging for things to do.
Yeah, they're looking for content, and it's easy content to make. Top 10 lists? Of course we can do that.
Oh my god. It's on topic, but off topic.
Yeah.
I was last night trying to listen to something on my break from work.
Yeah.
So I put on some YouTube video, and it was like mysteries, and I think this channel is called Chills. They have like 5 million subscribers. I was like, okay, so this looks like just conspiracy level top 10 lists, scary YouTube videos or whatever like that.
Sure.
I'm like, sure, okay. The person had the worst voice
Really?
ever.
Okay.
The inflections
Mm-hmm.
and the way they speak.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
You know that typical like surfer dude type speech pattern? It was kind of like that mixed with Valley Girl.
Oh, beautiful. Like, kind of like this?
Yeah, actually just like that.
Sweet.
The entire video.
The whole time?
The entire 17-minute runtime.
Right.
Like, how do you have 5.7 million subscribers if you're gonna talk like this in the whole video? Holy
well,
crap.
you know, like, sometimes we want to have, like, chill conspiracy hour. Like, alright. Like, it's Matthew McConaughey, but on surfing.
Yeah, it's just bad. If you get a chance to check the channel out to see the train wreck that I was telling you about.
Maybe that's why everyone signed up. Everyone
Maybe?
subscribed for the train wreck.
Maybe. I
They're the
looked down
best.
through the comments and there was a lot of people being like, dude, your voice.
or new host.
Oh jeez.
Just started after like a
It's
long
like,
period of
I
time.
don't ask for much. I just ask for normal speaking type voice or a decent voice to
Sure.
do things,
Sure.
not surfing Valley Girls.
Oh yeah, totally surfing Valley Girls. Speaking of which, I was looking through a lot of these lists. They actually start at like the beginning of October. Like pretty much October 1st comes around and they're all of a sudden like, it's that month. Let's just capitalize on that. And it's just odd too because so many of them are mainstream outlets. They're like just regular news outlets that then are, you know, take the opportunity to do a digital version where they talk about different games. And I noticed that there was a pattern. There's a few that tend to crop up a lot, not just in that, but also for game websites, and they're pretty typical. So I made a small list of my own. So
Perfect.
I guess this is scary games that typically come up on scary game lists.
I feel like you're gonna try and title this segment that,
Yeah.
and we're gonna change it in post.
Yeah, here are 6 amazing games where like I could do this. Here are 6 games that show up most often on Scariest game lists.
Yeah, you could replace that host
Oh, good.
perfectly.
I would love to have a YouTube channel.
It's a little
with 5
deeper
million
than your
subscribers.
voice, but you know, it's fine.
I can go down
like-
here if that would help. Will this
No,
be
that
better?
sounds weird.
Oh yeah. I got
Here are,
possessed
like,
by a devil.
6 game lists for you to be like, hello.
Hello.
I'm ripping so hard on this guy. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
He makes more money than we do. It's
That's true. That's true. I mean, let's face it. He needs to afford those creepy surfboards in the valley. So yeah, I noticed that there were really the 7 that I found come up most often, and you're probably familiar with them. Alex, you probably haven't played most of them. I haven't played some of them, but you've probably heard of them. So
heard of games.
You've heard of games? Okay, good.
Games.
So the one that you see so often is Resident Evil 7.
Oh, yeah, Resident Evil's always on one of those lists.
Yeah, some version of it. Sometimes it's 4. It comes up quite a bit. Sometimes it's the original. I had heard a lot of people use 2 as an example.
Yeah.
The remake, at least, the remake that they did recently. But 7 seems to be the one that comes up most often. Gotta be. I played some of 7. Like, I actually did play that for a while. I'm going to be honest with you. I was bored. I'm sorry, folks. I got to a point after the first few encounters, because there really aren't that many enemies. They focus on the actual individual characters in that one that you're fighting. And, there's just a point where they kind of, like, throw that out the window, and they're kind of going, okay, well, now you go into the cellar, and there's these, like, goo monsters that attack you. And all of that ammo that you might have saved up, now you gotta, like, unload all of it into these goo monsters, and they just keep coming at you. And I tried it once or twice, and I died a couple times, and then I was sitting there like, do I want to go back? Because I got to go through this whole segment again, and it wasn't that I was terrified of the monsters, it was like, I don't really want to have to go and do the whole segment again.
Yeah.
I just don't want to. And so I spent the next, like, 5-10 minutes just seeing if I could shoot out the lights in the hallway.
Could you?
Nope. Nope, you can't.
Bad environmental design.
Fail. I can't shoot out the lights. I'm sorry. I wanted to Sam Fisher this, and I couldn't. I'm really sad about that. Alien Isolation.
Okay, I have heard of that one.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. You haven't played it, though.
No, I probably haven't played any of the games on this list of yours, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. You are familiar with the concept, though.
Yeah, isn't that the one where you are hunting? No, you're trying to hide from the alien, right?
You are trying to hide from the alien. Yeah.
Okay.
You're playing Ellen Ripley's daughter, and going onto a space station to try and figure out what happened to her, I want to say. And there's an alien and replicants and stuff like that you have to deal with. And
Perfect.
The concept is cool. I'll give them that. The concept that they actually, I don't know if you were aware of this, but the game designers talked about it. There's actually 2 different sets of AI that go into the alien itself, that actually, like, one controls the movement, and then one controls, like, the learning process of, like, how the alien starts to learn your patterns and movements and stuff, so that, you know, if you always go into a duct, it starts looking into ducts and stuff like that. But it controls independently from the normal movement of it. Very interesting stuff. Also tried playing it, and also got bored. Sorry, I feel like this is going to be a common refrain for me.
Wow, you mean these games aren't keeping the tension and pacing up?
The thing is that I pieced out on that game before really the alien became a main figure, because before that happens, there's this long stretch where all you're really dealing with are either these raiders that just have guns that will kill you instantly, or you have the replicants from the movie series, the droid creatures, that again will run up to you and just start punching your lights out the second they get a hold of you. I got through one of these giant sections where I had to get in and out of a section where you can barely kill these things anyway, so just run past, just try to get away from them as fast as possible. Right. I get past this whole section, this whole area. Great. So happy, finally did that. Walk a little ways. One of these androids on the floor grabs my leg and kills me. And the last autosave, the last save point that I was at the beginning of that long section, before I had to go through all of these other, and I was like, nope, done. I don't even care about what happens with the alien anymore. I just don't.
Yeah.
Again, folks, you're gonna make a horror game. You got to be better with these save points. You got to do this a little bit better. Autosave me or something when I load into a new area. Just give me something here. Because I'm sure your alien things were cool, but I barely even touched on it. The Queen showed up for like 2 scenes that were very short and basically just went after all the other characters. I barely had to deal with it before.
Not my problem.
Not my problem, exactly. Oh, the alien went and killed all of those rebels that were trying to kill me. Oh no, whatever will I do? Other raiders' problems. So that was a problem for me. Okay, Outlast. Have not played it. I'm familiar with it.
Haven't played it.
No.
Barely familiar with it. I know the name. I have no idea what the game's about.
As far as I'm familiar with the game and the series, it's one of those where you're not really going to be killing the enemies so much. You're hiding from them.
Okay.
The entire time.
You're trying to outlast them?
Yes, exactly. I think that's why they called it that. Yeah. You're trying to outlast them. Just trying to get through. I believe it's supposed to be either like an insane asylum or a prison that you're going through in the games, and it's like, yeah, no, I can understand why that would be scary, but also I don't want to play that. It didn't feel like it was going to be as feature rich just because there is a lot of the hiding involved. I had very little interest in playing like straight up horror games like that.
Yeah.
Similar fashion, Until Dawn.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard about that one. Little familiar.
Again, familiar with the name.
Yeah.
Never played it.
Narrative-driven, like, horror story telling, where a lot of the characters will probably die.
Okay. It's like watching a horror movie with teenagers. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It is basically like that. Shows up a lot on these lists. Little Nightmares 2.
I've heard of that one. I think I've seen it. It's not your traditional horror type game.
No. I think a little bit more than the original. Which I did play for a little bit. Also got bored.
That's a theme.
It's a very good theme. Yeah, I heard that the second one is a little bit more horror focused than the first one. The first one, when I was playing it, kind of reminded me of, like, if you're familiar with games like Inside or, what was that, Limbo or ones like that. Sort of like that kind of a game, but with a lot of horror elements to it.
Okay.
The way it was
well, I mean, Inside didn't necessarily not have horror elements. The story was very much so told through the art and the background to that one.
Yeah. It shares some similarities too with those other games from like Playdead, where it's not really like the narrative is not really told to you. It is basically shown to you.
Right, and I think that's not a bad thing for horror type element games, because showing rather than telling can be very, very well done.
Oh yes. And if we were to give examples, yeah, those would probably be the best ones. I did get very confused by the end of those games, but I still cannot really explain to you what the hell the ending of Inside was supposed to be about.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things, and giant blob monstrosities of a whole bunch of body parts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and there were some pigs around. Looked at me weird. Anywho, but Little Nightmares 2, though, I heard was a little bit more horror-focused. That's also a very recent release, so it's probably the reason why it shows up on a lot of these lists, because we have short-term memories.
True.
And then the one, I think this is hilarious, though, but I saw it so often. Phasmaphobia?
Well, of course. A, that's really new. B, it's really popular. And it's a social game, so you can play with your friends.
Yeah. I don't know if it's as much scary as it is kind of hilarious.
So I did watch someone recently who had played it in VR.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm out for that. I am out for that, yeah.
And so in VR, everything is built really, and this person I've actually been recently watching on YouTube, but in VR, the game is really well done because everything is built to scale, as if it's properly scaled for a human, not just a video game character.
Oh.
So all the structures in the house are the proper size.
Oh, okay.
Which is great because it gives you a sense of, oh, this is realistic.
Yeah.
This is somewhere I could be.
Yeah.
And then in VR, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
So that's really good. If anyone's wondering, that is a YouTuber named The Librarian.
Oh, okay.
I believe. He does. I've been watching a lot of Gmod horror and liminal spaces videos that he does, like exploration stuff in Gmod. Which is really interesting and neat. And just commentates over all of it. But the Phasmaphobia one he played by himself because he's just kind of checking it out for the first time, and couple decent jump scares for him there.
Oh yeah.
That he did not expect, which is great. He goes into them blind. But yeah, he was like, wow, in VR this is really cool because everything's built to scale and like it's feels like you're there.
Right.
So in VR, Phasmaphobia, bit more on the horror point, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think, to be fair, horror VR would be way different than these top 10 lists of scariest games.
Yeah.
Be like, oh no, you want scary? Let's get you this VR title that's actually well done.
Yeah.
And have you shit your pants.
Yeah. Have you ever seen this game? I saw it in VR and I was like, no, this is going to be a hard pass for me too. It was like called Shark Attack. It's a VR game where you're in the shark cage, and like this ravenous shark keeps trying to get into the cage, and you have to fend
No,
off.
I haven't seen that one. I will say that one of the things the librarian has mentioned too, that water in VR, he already doesn't like water in video games, like having to go in water.
I hate
in
it.
horror games, because it's like, it's a weird feeling. He's like, water in VR though, you can just see his arms come up.
Oh yeah.
When he's with the things in his hand, you see his virtual reality arms come up because he's walking into the water, and you see it sensory and you hear it sensory. So the arms just come up in front of him like, it's water, it's cold. And it's just kind of hilarious, but it's like, all right, that's fair though.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fair.
That is fair. Oh, you know what I did? Just sidebar for a second. Yeah, here's the sidebar. But since we were talking about librarians and we were talking about VR, here's a thought that I had. Wouldn't it be amazing if they had a VR adventure that was just Silence in the Library from Doctor Who?
That'd be terrifying.
That would be amazing.
That'd be great.
That would be incredible. That's an adventure all on its own, where you have to explore the library. You have to stay out of the shadows. You start seeing your hands start to disappear in front of you. That would be amazing. I would play that just because I need to know that it exists.
Yeah.
It exists. And then the other one, I guess it's an honorable mention because I have seen it all the time, but PT, obviously.
Yeah, that makes the top of everyone's list despite not being available and only being
never being a game
playable teaser.
Yeah.
And any system that has PT on it is worth
mega
a
money.
lot of money.
Yeah. If we had only known, Alex, right?
Yeah, if I had
buy
only
up all
cared.
the PS2s, download it, disconnect all of them.
Was it PS2 or I think it was PS3.
PS3?
PS3. Yeah.
I suppose it's newer.
I don't even understand. Like, I get it. It was just, I've seen it played. I guess.
Yeah.
People are just really big fans of what was going on for that short teaser of a game.
Yeah. Yeah. For anyone who isn't familiar with it listening, basically PT was the short trailer that people thought was supposed to be a teaser for like Silent Hills that they were making, and it was all in first person perspective, and it had quite a pedigree behind it, right? Was that Hideo Kojima that was working on that, or
Maybe.
or Guillermo del Toro? I thought that there were a few people that were working on it.
Oh, I feel like it was the first one you said, who I just forgot the name of now.
Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima, yeah. I think it was Kojima that allegedly was working on that.
Yeah. And then I think what happened is that when he moved on and started doing his own studio, and they did like Death Stranding, I think a lot of the creative crew that was behind the PT trailer worked on that game with him afterward, because I know Del Toro was involved with that too. But anyway, never played it, won't get my hands on it, wouldn't really want to, because I think there's a talking bag in that talks to you, and there's a creepy woman that's always behind you. Scary stuff.
Are you against talking bags?
I'm against talking bags when there's obviously something that looks bloody inside of them that you will never really see.
Oh.
Because I start to wonder if it's the thing inside the bag that's talking to me through the bag.
Maybe.
Or if it's the bag itself. The bag was the villain the whole time.
If the BBEG is brown bag evil guy.
Brown bag evil guy. Hope you pack a lunch of murder. Anyway. Do you think it's kind of odd though how many outlets, pretty much like every news outlet, regardless of whether they do video gaming or not, like they take the opportunity to say, hey, here's scary games we've heard of.
They just want to be able to be noteworthy in October. Everything becomes fall themed or pumpkin spice latte themed or, you know, it's all about the spooks and the scary and stuff like that. So I can see why they do that. Even us right now are doing a more spooky theme.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing that type of stuff for this episode. It's just kind of the season thing, I guess. Kind of like around Christmas, everything does, well, not everything, but everyone does like holiday stuff around December.
Yeah.
So I would like to, do you know if these places do like the top 10 romance games for February?
I bet they do.
I bet they don't, because it's probably like, yeah, this one's an adult dating simulator.
Oh yeah. It might not be necessarily that kind of although I do remember like around February that they usually do have some places that will talk about dating games or Valentine's themed games. We might pick that up in around that time. And
yeah, because Nathan loves dating sims.
Someone somewhere will have like the top 10 dating sims, and it will always have Doki Doki Literature Club on it. It's inevitable. You can't get away from it. And probably, if they're worth their salt, Lovers of Ether.
It'll be the top 10 adult dating games.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it'll just be your sidebar advertisements on some websites that still have advertisements on the side for adult themed stuff. And you're gonna be like, ooh, cringe.
Exactly.
Hot singles in your area.
Do you like video games? Cool. Also over here on sidebar, just so you know.
Oh man, we should do a top 10 list of the top 10 hot singles in our area. That'll be scary itself.
Yeah, it certainly would, and most of them are imaginary.
All of them.
All of them are imaginary. But anyway, so yeah, looking forward to seeing what in a couple months when I revisit the list of holiday themed games and what people think are scary. Because I got to be honest with you, I've probably played scarier games than that, which we'll pick up in a later segment. But,
yeah.
Yeah.